Hey, you guys. Welcome to Talk About It Thursdays. I am your host, Karen Bailey. And let me know when you're on. I would love to say hello to you guys. Turn our music down a little bit. I pray everybody's having an amazing Thursday. The holidays are behind us now, so now is our chance to get this new year started off right. So that's what we want to do today here with Talk About It Thursdays. Hey, Miss Wendy. Hi, Miss Lisa. Not Lindsay, Lisa. Happy New Year to you guys. Welcome to Talk About It Thursdays, our first podcast of the year of 2024. You guys, I was thinking how blessed we really are to still be here, especially after dealing with COVID and so many people that we didn't even expect, to not survive COVID, that they didn't make it through. So we need to really be thankful. Hey, Christia, we need to really be thankful and grateful to God that He kept us and that He spared us through the pandemic. It's been a tough 2 or 3 years for all of us, but every year seems like we're getting better and better. And I just believe God has a reason for everything. So even though COVID was as tragic as it was, I know God had a purpose, even for that. So you guys, I pray you guys had an amazing New Year's. And I hope that you're excited about 2024. I'm excited about 2024. I have no idea what God is going to do, but I just believe He's going to do something amazing in my life. And I have to believe that. I have to speak that over my own life because I know God is able. And when you believe that God is able, you believe that nothing is impossible. Everything that God wants for you. Hey, Pam. Hey, Nancy. Everything that God wants for you, He's going to bring it to pass. So get excited about 2024. That's what Sister I Got You is all about. We're looking forward to going higher and higher and just growing and continuing to reach out to women and even men, all over the world. We want everybody to know that they're loved. We want everybody to feel supported, like they have a place when they're feeling down, when they need uplifting, when they need encouragement. That's what Sister I Got You is all about, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started today. And my topic is, this is only the beginning. And that's a prophetic word for somebody. A lot of times we think age has something to do with it. We think finances have something to do with it. That has nothing to do with what God is going to do in your life. So you have got to speak over your life and remind yourself that it's not too late. It's not too late to follow your dreams. Nothing is over until God says it's over. So remind yourself and speak over yourself in the mornings when you get up. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of my day. This is the beginning of my new life. This is the beginning. This is not the end. It's not over. God has so much more of my story to write. So that's what I want to talk about today, is just having a hope and staying encouraged and just know that this is only the beginning. No matter what stage or age you are in life, if God gave you breath today, this is only the beginning. If God let you make it over into 2024, then this is only the beginning. And so the best way to move forward, you guys, is to take the time to reflect on what went wrong last time, what didn't work out for us, and then what did work out. It's good to reflect on those things so you can understand, what was I supposed to learn from that failure in 2023? What is it that God wants me to do differently in 2024? And so you have to take the lesson out of whatever went wrong. Everything is not meant to harm you. Sometimes it's just meant to teach you a lesson. God is trying to grow us up sometimes. God is trying to shake some of those bad habits off of us sometimes. And sometimes God is just trying to knock down some of that pride that some of us have. We think that we got it all going on, but God wants to remind us that we're nothing without Him. And so reflect on what went wrong last year and ask God to show you the lesson so that you can do better in 2024. And then ask yourself also, why didn't I reach my goals that I set out for 2023? There's a reason. You need to look at whether it was a distraction, whether it was just laziness, whether it was just feeling overwhelmed or not planning well. Ask yourself, because that's when you do your self-evaluation. You don't need anybody to tell you what went wrong. You go to God for yourself and say, God, show me me. Show me where I keep falling short. Show me why I'm not getting to the point in my life I'm trying to get to. God, show me me. And that's the beginning of anything that's going to be great in your life. You have to be willing to look at that man or that woman in the mirror and be honest with yourself. You need to see your strong points. You need to see your shortcomings. And you need to face those things and deal with them accordingly. So ask yourself, why didn't I reach my goals in 2023? And when God shows you those things, don't get bitter, get better. And remember, new keys open new doors. We're asking God for something new this year. I know I want some new doors open in my life. I want some better in my life. And I know that God has those things available for me, but I've got to not be afraid. I've got to look at every opportunity and trust God to open the doors that need to be open. Understand, new keys open new doors. And a lot of times we're afraid of going through those new doors because it's unfamiliar. But the only way you're going to get better is to get the courage to deal with things that you can't control the outcome of, that you don't already know what's going on. That's a faith walk. You have got to increase your faith if you want to go to that next level and go through those new doors. So remember, new keys open new doors. So let's ask God for some new keys this year. And then what am I willing? What am I willing to do to get those new keys? Because the keys themselves are just basically our willingness to change. Those are the keys, the new keys in our life. What are we willing to change about our life in order to have some new doors open for us? A, what are you willing to do differently? B, what are you willing to sacrifice? C, what are you willing to dedicate yourself to? And D, what are you willing to believe about yourself and about your life, you guys? It's all about what you believe. Everything starts in the mind. The mind is the battleground. The enemy attacks us in our mind. As soon as we feel like we can do something, first thing he does is throw all that negativity of why we're not good enough and why we're not strong enough, why we don't have what it takes to do this, that, and the other. But you have got to get your mind right in 2024. You have got to make up your mind. Let me put it to you like that. You have got to make up your mind to trust God. Not what other people say about you, not even what you say about you sometimes, because sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. You've got to make up your mind to trust God and believe God and take him at his word as to what he says about you. It all boils down to, how bad do you want it? If you want change in your life, how bad do you want it? Because that's going to be the test. That's going to be what's going to make you be willing to do some things that you've never done before in order to get something better than what you've had before. So let's go back to, what would you do differently in your life to get those new keys? Number one, before you can change your current or even your future behavior, you have to learn something from your past behavior. If you never learn anything, you are determined, you are destined to make the same mistakes over and over again. You have got to learn from your past behavior. You got to learn what worked for you in the past, what didn't work, what I should have done differently, what I should have done the same. You need to learn from your past behavior so that you can develop different behavior or tweak whatever you did last year so that you'll be more successful this year. Number two, You got to stop fearing the unknown. Like I said before, we have to make up our mind. We either are going to trust ourselves, we're either going to trust man, or we're going to trust God. You can't have all three. So you've got to understand that who is going to be the head of your life? Who is going to be the head of your life? If God is going to be the head of your life, you are going to have to trust him. That when he leads you to something, that he's not leading you to it for you to fail. He's already put provision and put the right people that are going to come into your life to help you with it. You can't go through life being scared and expect to do great things, you guys. I know for so long in my life, I was scared of everything different, and I could just spank my own self just for all the time I wasted. Hey, Kathy, being afraid of the unknown, being afraid of the big bad wolf, being afraid of failing. Those type of fears will stifle you. They will entangle you. They will trap you for years and years in your life. And it takes a lot to get free from that, because it takes you believing something more than what you know in your physical realm. It takes you believing in something that's bigger than you for you to get past your fear. And sometimes that takes a long time, you guys. And then when you actually set goals, get serious about achieving your goals, and then start acting accordingly. Act different. If you're trying to do something different, you're trying to be something different, quit acting and having the same people around you all the time and doing the same thing. If that's no longer where you want to be, you need to act like where you're going. You need to dress like where you're going. You need to talk like where you're trying to go. You are going to have to change your behavior. So you've got to do things differently if you want something better. And then get focused on your priorities. Set goals for yourself and prioritize those things. Don't allow yourself to get thrown off track all the time. Don't go days and days and days not focusing on what's important to you, because it doesn't take but just a little bit of you not paying attention. That's in relationships, that's in raising your kids, that's in anything in life, even dealing with your finances. All you got to do is get off track a little bit, and the enemy will work with that. All you got to do is not pay attention for a little while. It don't take long for things to go bad, you guys. That's why you have got to, this is my next point, make a point of staying on point. That's when you know that you're really growing and you're maturing, because you're checking on things. You're making sure things are working the way they're supposed to work. You're not dependent on other people to do things that you're responsible for. It is your priority, and because it's your priority, you're going to stay on point with it. You're going to be the one checking on it. You're going to be the one sending out the messages. You're going to be the one going online checking your bank statements. That's when you know that you're focused on where you're trying to go in life, because that requires you to be more responsible. That makes you have to be more accountable for everything that you're trying to do. So therefore, you will stay on point. So make a point of staying on point, you guys. Be aware of what's happening around you. Be aware of what's happening in your home. When the energy's not right in your home, don't be satisfied with that. When somebody's got an attitude within your house, don't be satisfied with that. Don't brush that off. There's something brewing under the surface, and it can get out of hand if you don't nip that thing in the bud as soon as possible. So if you're going to stay on point, you need to stay on point with everything that's going on in your life. If you see that things are out of order, or you feel that energy is not right, or you feel like there's a negative spirit in your house, that's when you need to go to God in prayer and ask God to show you what's going on in your house, what's going on with your significant other, what's going on with your children, that things don't feel right, that it seems like it's coldness in the house. Nobody seems to be affectionate towards one another. Don't allow those things to just grow and grow, because it's going to become a weed and it's going to take over. So make a point, you guys, of being on point in 2024. Okay? And then forgive. Are you willing to forgive? in 2024. You know, I tried to talk about forgiveness last year, and I'll always talk about forgiveness because forgiveness is one of the hardest things in the world to do. And especially when you were hurt by that person, and especially if that was somebody you trusted, especially if it was somebody you didn't expect to do what they did. It is so hard. That flesh, it gets so thick with bitterness and anger and resentment. It takes a lot to forgive. So even though forgive is a small word, that's why I keep talking about it, because forgiveness is so liberating. Once you let that thing go, you can breathe, and you don't realize just how much is choking you down until you actually forgive somebody. You know, we get used to just about anything. You know, we learn to adapt. And a lot of times we don't even realize we're harboring unforgiveness in our spirit. We're harboring it in our heart. But once God shows you that you've got that evil unforgiveness in your heart, do something about it so that you can live a better life, so that you can be happy again, so that you can feel free again. So forgiving is a big part of changing your life in 2024. I don't care what they did to you. I don't care how bad it was. When I tell y'all, it's worth letting go, because you can't undo what they did anyway. It is so worth letting go. And I wouldn't say that if I hadn't experienced it for myself. And then we need to also, you guys, doing something different. Treat exercise like a lifestyle. You know, don't feel like exercise is just a chore. Just realize all the benefits of exercising your body and treat it like self-care. You know, when you exercise, you are telling God, you know, God, you gave me this body. I want to take care of it. I want to keep it moving. I want to appreciate what you've given me. And I know most of us need to lose some weight, this, that, and the other. You don't have to be skinny. All you need to do is keep your body active, keep your body moving so that you can prevent some of these illnesses and diseases and you don't end up on all these medications. Treat exercise like self-care because it's worth it. You know, I was talking to someone the other day. I've got an 87-year-old patient. When I tell you she could probably walk laps around any 40, 50, or 60-year-old that I've ever seen, including myself. And she said the one thing I learned as a young woman was to always exercise. She doesn't take much medicine at all. She doesn't have pain and ache. She has maybe just a little bit of arthritis every now and then. But she says she walks about 2 to 3 miles a day, and she's been doing that her whole life. And I see the benefits of that. She said, you have to take care of your body so your body will take care of you. At 87, this lady is driving. She's walking everywhere she wants to. She's not on a cane or walker. So it is a benefit for you to exercise your body and treat it like self-care. And the next thing we need to do differently is we need to start tuning in to our body signals. You know, the worst thing we do as women is we push and push and push ourselves, even when we're tired, because so many people are always pulling on us, wanting us to do this, wanting us to do that, wanting us to be over here, wanting us to be over there. You better listen to your body. Your body gives you signals when it's had enough. It gives you signals when you're doing too much. It gives you signals when you need to sit down. It gives you signals when you need to rest and get some more sleep. We have got to stop ignoring our bodies in 2024. God gave us these bodies. He gave us all these receptors and neurons and everything that send out impulses and sensations. He did that for a reason, to help you to understand how to treat your body. But most of the time, most of us women, we push ourselves too far, and then we wonder why we have high blood pressure. We wonder why we gain so much weight. We wonder why more women are having strokes and heart attacks, because you are not listening to the signals that are coming from your body. Your body is so important because guess what? You won't get another one. As long as you're here, you're not getting another one. So you need to listen to the signals that God put in your body to tell you when it's time to do something different. Say no to all those obligations that's wearing you down. You shouldn't be having a headache every day. You shouldn't be walking around talking about how tired you are every day. Something is wrong. You're not doing something right. You're not listening to your body. So let's do better in 2024. The next thing you need to do differently, and I want to say this for all of us, we need to find a support group. Everybody needs a support group that fits them, because everybody needs somebody to talk to. Everybody needs somebody that can identify with what they're going through. They need to hear that they're not the only one going through things. My very first podcast I did with my friend Sonia, and I want to say it's been a couple of years ago, and it was It's Okay Not to Be Okay. That was the first podcast on Sister I Got You. And it is okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to keep all that bottled up inside of yourself, because when you do, you're going to explode at some point, and that's so unhealthy for your body. So find a support group that fits you, people that understand some of the things that you're going through, that you can be open and honest without judgment. That's why Sister I Got You was created. But I understand people have specialized things that they're going through. Find a support group for that. If you've got a certain illness you're dealing with, all of us won't understand that. All we can do is pray for you and pray that you get better. But you need somebody that actually knows exactly what you're going through. So let's do better this year about finding our different support groups for the different things that we have going on. There's people out there that want to talk to you. There's people out there that want to share their story with you and let you know that you're not alone. So seek out those things. Don't suffer in silence in 2024. You guys, y'all have done that long enough. I had done that long enough. And God finally showed me that I was killing myself. I was hurting myself. So you have to decide to let that pride go to the side and talk to somebody. Life is hard. Life can be overwhelming sometimes because it seems like so much is coming at you at the same time, and you're responsible for so much, and so many people are blowing up your phone, this, that, and the other. You need to find a support group so that you can maintain, so that you will be okay. Because it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay for you to not talk to somebody about it so that you will be okay. We all have times when we're not okay, but we want you to be okay, if that makes sense. Okay? And then what else you can do differently? Start signing up for seminars, you guys. There's always an online seminar and coaches trying to take you to that next level. There's so many things out there. Whatever you want to do, there's a coach out there for that. There's a seminar out there for that. If you can do it online, do it online. But you may want to actually hop on a plane and go to a seminar. Do something just for you to get you to that next level. And go to those seminars, go talk to those coaches, and let somebody that's already where you are, or trying to go, let somebody that's where you're trying to go help you get there. And so the next thing we got to ask ourselves, if we want better in 2024, what are we willing to sacrifice, you guys? Because a lot of times we want, but we don't want to give up nothing. I know what that's like. I'm guilty of that. There's times when I just want, but I don't want to have to sacrifice anything. But we know that that's life. You don't always get something without having to give up something. So what are you willing to sacrifice in 2024 to have a better life than you had back in 2023? Number one, you may have to sacrifice being comfortable all the time. It's okay to be comfortable sometimes, but if you're comfortable all the time, you're not living up to your full potential. It takes hard work to live better. It takes hard work to grow. It takes hard work to get to the next level. I'm not saying you got to grind your whole life, but you can't sit in an easy chair and expect to go to the next level. You've got to put in some work is what I'm trying to say. So there's going to be times when you're not always comfortable. Number two, another thing we all need to sacrifice is other people's definition of what success is. We have got to stop listening to everybody about what success is. Come up with your own definition of what success means to you. Society always wants us to think success is about the biggest house, the baddest car, the baddest purses, shoes, jewelry, this, that. That is not making people happy, because those people are hurting themselves. Those people are doing drugs. Those people are miserable or depressed and everything else. So obviously that is not the answer. Come up with your own definition. Quit letting society decide who you are. Come up with your own definition of what success is, and let go of other people's definition. If that's what they want to do, go ahead, boo. I'm proud of you. Go at it. But if that's not your definition of success, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You have to be happy with your own life. And that's what we need to get to in 2024. Quit trying to showboat for everybody else. Quit trying to compete with everybody else. And just get to a point in your life where you feel fulfilled, where you feel successful, where you feel that you're doing the best you can to live your best life. Okay? Number three, we need to learn to sacrifice other people's opinions about our lives. So many people will put their mouth on your life. Those same people don't pay a bill. Those same people won't be there when you need them. Those same people are talking about you to somebody else. But people always have an opinion about your life. And a lot of times we invite it. Like I talked to you guys about before, be careful about what you're putting out there on social media. You are inviting people to put their mouth on your life. And people always say, Karen, you're so private. You don't post a lot of this, post a lot of that. I learned a long time ago to keep people out of my business. And it has been a blessing and a half. Because what they don't know, they can't get in and they can't mess up. You have to learn to prioritize what's private to you and what you're willing to share publicly. Because somebody's always going to have an opinion about your life. So if you put it out there on display, then you can't get mad with whatever they say about it. But we've got to sacrifice worrying about what other people think about us, you guys. God is not going to ask nobody about your life but you when you go to judgment. So why are you listening to other people? Why do you let other people make you feel bad about yourself? They don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. Why is their opinion more important than God's? What God says about you. Learn to sacrifice, you guys, to get where you need to get to. You don't have to get a new car just because your friend gets a new car, your sister gets a new car. Quit competing with people. You know what you're trying to do in your life. You know what you need to do to meet the goals in your life. You may have to drive an old car for a while. You may have to buy your clothes off of a sales rack. You may have to do all of that. But that's okay. If that gets you to your goal, then that's what you need to do. Quit worrying about what other people think about how you're getting to where you're getting. We've got to let go of that, you guys. Number 5, another thing we need to sacrifice is those bad habits. Things that we like, but don't benefit us. It's funny, being a single woman, I'm not going to get too graphic about this, but there are things that I like, but they don't benefit me. So I've had to let those things go. And those were those things that, that I felt like made me feel good, but they weren't benefiting me. And so there comes a point in your life to where, that might feel good, but at the end of the day, what do you have? And you have to look at the big picture. You know, you have to let go of those small things or those insignificant things so God can take you to something better. But as long as you're dabbling in that old stuff, and y'all get to the point on that, y'all understand, once you're dealing with that old stuff, God can never bring anything new into your life. So those old habits, sometimes you guys, do more harm than good. So if you're wanting something better, those old things that you're still fooling with that God told you to leave alone, you got to make a decision to sacrifice those things if you want something better in 2024. 6, you have to sacrifice the familiar sometimes. Sometimes just because it's familiar to you does not mean that it is for you. And it's not always helping you reach your goals just because you know how to deal with it or you're familiar with it. And sometimes it can actually make you lazy. See, dealing with the unknown, dealing with something that challenges you, it makes you have to think. It makes you stretch those spiritual muscles. You know, when it's familiar to you, it's easy. It's light work. You want something that's going to challenge you, something that's going to make you have to think a little bit more, going to have to dig a little bit deeper. Because at the end of the day, you're a better person for it. So we may have to sacrifice the familiar and move on to something unfamiliar just so we can grow. 7, next thing we need to sacrifice is being a busybody. You know, some people are always in other people's business, always trying to be the first one there, always trying to make sure they're on the scene, you know, so they can report back to everybody else. Sometimes being a busybody is just wasting time, you guys. You need to decrease your schedule so you can get focused. You know, how are you going to focus and prioritize if you're trying to be everywhere all the time and you scared you're going to miss this? I'm scared I'm going to miss that. I'll come to this. I'll come to that. You have to learn to say no and prioritize your time so you can get focused, so that you can accomplish one goal, then move on to the next goal, then move on to the next. It's going to require you to get out of other people's business and focus on your own. 8, we may have to sacrifice some dead relationships, you guys. Any relationship that's not helping you grow to be a better person is actually hurting you. I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's friends. I don't care who it is. If that relationship is not helping you build into a better version of you, that's a dead relationship. There's nothing to gain from that relationship. You need a relationship that's going to always be pushing you to do better. I like being around friends that's always trying to do that next thing, that new thing. Because those people inspire me. Those people encourage me. Those people give me hope that if they can do it, I can do it too. That's what keeps you growing. That's what keeps you moving and evolving. And sometimes we hold on to those dead relationships and then we wonder why 10, 20 years from now, we're still in the same place we've always been. We've held on to those dead bones too long because we're afraid of letting go. We're afraid of doing something different. So sometimes you've got to sacrifice those dead relationships, those family members that don't want to ever do better, that's not trying to improve their life. They're happy where they are, and they don't have any intentions of trying to get out of whatever situation they're in. That's a dead relationship. You can't spend a lot of time around that, you know, because you are influenced by your environment. So you need something that's going to uplift you, inspire you, and make you want to do better. Number 9, we need to sacrifice those distractions. Sometimes those distractions are just simply social media, you know, and trying to see what the latest dance is or what the latest craze is, this, that, and the other. It's amazing. Your phone will track and tell you how much time you spent searching online. And it's amazing when you realize just how distracted you've been, because it doesn't seem like you've been doing it that long, but before you know it, hours and hours have gone by and your day has gone by and you've been searching the internet, searching social media when you really could have been doing something productive with your life. And learn to reinvest your time. It's okay to want to get out and go and do things sometimes, but that can't be your lifestyle. You have got to understand, to get where you're having to go, you have got to sacrifice and invest some of your time in yourself. Because if you don't invest in you, who will? You need to invest your time learning something new, putting in the work, and being productive. You know, there's nothing in life that says that there's an age where you stop growing. You never stop growing. It's up to you. People make a choice not to grow. There is nothing that says you stop growing at a certain age. You should always be hungry for something new, for learning something new, for being able to learn a new skill. You know, I made a promise to myself, you know, to once a month learn a new recipe. You know, something I've never made before. And I'm enjoying it because now I can make those recipes without even looking, you know, at the book or looking online. Simply because once I've done it one time, I retain it in my mind. And that's something I can pass down to my children, to my nieces and nephews. You know, it's a skill that I didn't have growing up, and I'm building on that skill. Even when it comes to home improvement projects, I don't let things intimidate me. If I'm able to get it home, I know I can build it. If there's a video, I know I can do it. All I need to do is study the video. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to have a willingness to want to learn and want to see, you know, just how far you can go. And that should never stop, no matter how old you are. And then the next thing, if you want to open new doors in 2024, what are you willing to dedicate yourself to? You know, a lot of times it's about our commitment, you guys. You know, it's easy to say, oh yeah, when something's just jumping off, you're all ready for it. But can you really dedicate yourself to it? Can you truly commit to something? And a lot of times that's what's happened to us singles in our relationships. Either we have commitment issues or people have had commitment issues with us. And it's time for us to put out what we want to get in return. You know, when you want somebody to be committed to you, show that you're the kind of person that can dedicate yourself. You know, let people see that, you know, that you've grown, that you're not a quitter just because things aren't working out the way you want them to work out. You're going to see things through to the end. Because a lot of times we need our character built up. And I honestly believe a lot of things I know that happened in my own life was simply to build my character, because I was quick to just give up, you know, when it wasn't working out or when it hurt too bad or this, that, and the other. And God had to build on my character. And unfortunately, I had to learn how to commit myself to things even when I couldn't see the benefit of it. And because I was able to do that, now I don't have that much of an issue with commitment now. If it's something I believe in, or if it's something that I can see, you know, see the goal behind it or see the objective behind it, I can commit myself to it now. And I can stay with it and see it out through the end. So we need to figure out what we're willing to dedicate ourselves to. And so number one, what will you say yes to this year that you've been saying no to? You know, there are opportunities that have been brought your way that you've been saying no to out of fear of commitment, out of just lack of a willingness to put in the work. We've all done that. There's something that all of us has been saying no to, that God has been trying to show us that this is the direction you need to go, but it requires you to dedicate yourself. So what will you say yes to in 2024? And then will you dedicate yourself, number two, to your main priorities? You know, when you're married and you've got children, those are your main priorities, not your friends, not hanging out, not not work, not all of that. Your main priority is the home and the people in your home that God gave you. When you're a single parent, your main priority is that child. And when you're a single adult, your main priority is God and getting yourself together. So will you dedicate yourself to your priorities, to your main priorities? Number 3, in 2024, will you dedicate yourself to God? Will you be willing to spend time with God? Will you be willing to spend time in prayer? Will you be willing to spend time listening for God's voice? Because a lot of times we want to say, oh yeah, I love God. But when was the last time you spent time, just you and him, just quiet, just listening to his voice, letting him guide you, letting him speak to you? Because a lot of times we're so busy trying to run our own lives, we don't make room for God to give us direction. Number 4, will you dedicate yourself to being healthy this year? And I'm not just talking about your body, I'm talking about your mind, your body, and your spirit. It takes all 3 of those to truly be a healthy person. And like I said before, the battlefield is in the mind. And you have got to get that mind under control, you guys. And the only way to do that is to do it on purpose. You have to purposely say those things and knock down those thoughts that try to control you, that try to lead you in the wrong direction. You have to make up your mind that that's not where you're trying to go. You're trying to be healthy in 2024. You're trying to get your body healthy. Like I said before, it's not about being skinny. It's not about being a certain size. It's all about being healthy. And you want your soul healthy so that you can love people right, so that you can treat people right, so that you can receive love. Because a lot of times we can't even receive love because of old soul ties, because of things that are still in our spirit that aren't right. Let's get those things taken care of in 2024 so that we can enjoy one another, so we can love our families the way we're supposed to, so you can love your spouse the way you're supposed to, and so that our children feel love. Because this world is hard out there. The one place our children should be able to feel love and know that they're loved unconditionally is in their home with their parents. Number 5, we need to dedicate ourselves to cleaning out our mental and emotional clutter. Like I say, we have got to let go of those past things, who hurt you, who broke your heart, who cheated on you, who lied on you. Clear out that emotional baggage so you can make room for God to send some good people in your life, because you're turning people away because your spirit is so full, and sometimes you just got a nastiness that comes off of you and you don't even realize it. And it's because you're cluttered. You're clogged down. We need to clean out our mental and emotional selves so that we can get the clutter out of the way, because there's so many new things out there for us. There are new people that want to meet us, but we've got to get some of that old stuff out of the way, you guys, and we've got to let go. Let it go, because a lot of that stuff that we won't let go of is weighing you down and it's draining you of your energy. When you're tired all the time, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that's weighing me down? What is it that I haven't gotten over? And sometimes it takes talking to somebody. If there's something that has really hurt you, that really has a hold on you, like I said before, it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not do something about it. You need to talk to somebody that can help you so that you can be free, so that you can be happy, so that when you come into a room, you're the light. You can't be the light when you're cluttered. You can't be the light when you're so bogged down and you're so tired and you're so drained. Because it takes energy to be the light, you guys, because somebody needs you to lift them up. And how can you lift somebody else when you're all weighed down yourself? So that is what you've got to do. You've got to make up your mind that you want to be free from all of that. And you got to make up your mind to let it go. Next, we need to start a new discipline, you guys. whether it's yoga, meditation, walking, eating better, reading more. Start a new discipline that helps you relax, that helps you unwind, that helps you let go of the stress of the day. So many people are so stressed. So many people are just bogged down with anxiety. Start a new discipline, a new way of just letting go and just taking that time to get back to yourself and letting go of the cares of this world. Start a new discipline in 2024. 7, do something you've always wanted to do this year. I challenge everybody in this group. Do something that you've always wanted to do, that you've been afraid to do, or that you didn't prioritize, or that you were waiting on somebody to do with you. Stop waiting on other people to come along with you. Some things are just meant for you to do. It's not important to them, but it's something you think about all the time. It's something you want to do, but you're waiting on somebody else. Do not wait and let life pass you by. Do those things now that you want to do. You are going to have to be bold in 2024. If you want to live your best life, it requires you to be bold. There are some times when you got to do things that other people think is silly or ridiculous. If it's what you want to do, do it. Like I said before, let go of what other people have to say about your life. They're living their life. Quit letting other people dictate your life. Do something you've always wanted to do and stop procrastinating. Learning how to cook something different. Learning how to build something, learning to play a musical instrument, traveling. Do those things now while you have the desire in your heart. One lesson I think many people have taken from COVID-19 is that you need to stop putting things off, because time waits for nobody, you guys. So stop putting off what you want to do and just do it. Number 8, we need to make a point of making good decisions on how we spend our time. We talked about that a couple of sessions back about, stop wasting time on idle people. Stop wasting time with toxic people. Make a good decision on how you spend your time. Your time is something so valuable that people just don't even think about sometimes until you don't have any more left, or until you've gotten up in age and you can't do some things. That's one thing people always wish they had more of, as they get older, is they wish they had more time. So spend your time wisely, because it's not going to wait for you. You've got to make good decisions so that you are making sure that your life is turning out the way you want it to turn out. You don't want to get in your 80s and 90s and look back and say, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. Start making good decisions now on how you want to spend your time. And then number 9, dedicate yourself to not working against yourself. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies, you guys, because sometimes we always say, you know what, Lord, I want to come out of debt, and I want to be debt free, and I want to have money, and I want to be able to do this and that. But then you say that, but then every time you turn around, you're putting yourself in more debt. You pay off something and then you get yourself in more debt. So stop working against yourself. Make up your mind of what you want out of your life and make the sacrifices to get there. Because sometimes we're the ones that are in the way. Our bad habits, those eyes that want everything that they see, that's that greed that some of us have in us. We have to have it because somebody else has it. We've got to stop doing that because we're working against ourselves. So make a dedication this year to stop working against yourself. Stop doing things that make your life harder than what it is. And the last thing we need to do differently in 2024, we need to start believing things about ourselves and about our lives. Number 1, believe in yourself that you can, instead of always talking about what you can't do. Start believing in yourself. Start trusting yourself. Next, Remember, you are not what happened to you. Just because that happened to you, does that mean that that has to shape your whole life? A lot of us have had some horrible things happen to us in life, some painful things happen to us. But you know what? It's only your life if you allow it to be. It's only your life if you allow it to be. You do not have to be that thing that happened to you. You can live past that. If God allows you to breathe and move on to the other side of it, keep going. It happened. It is what it is. You can't change it. But don't let that bad thing that happened in your life become your whole life. Let that stuff go and move forward. Use those bad experiences as stepping stones to help you get to the next level. Don't allow those things to bog you down and weigh you down, because a lot of times we'll make excuses, for why we haven't done this and why we haven't done that. Stop doing that, because you're allowing what happened to you to consume your whole life. And that's not living. You have to take the bad with the good, the bitter with the sweet, and you got to get up, dust yourself off, and keep on pushing. So don't let what happened to you end up being your whole life. And then another thing we need to believe is that we can have what we say. God's word talks about the power of the tongue and how it goes out and gets something, that it makes things happen. So if our tongue can do that, then we need to start believing we can have the good things that we say. So we need to start speaking good things over our own lives and speaking what we want to see happen in our life. Next, you have to start believing about yourself that you deserve good things to happen. You deserve, just like everybody else, that you're not less than anybody else. We may not all be on the same social status. We may not all be on the same financial status, but in God's eyes, we're all the same. Therefore, you don't deserve any more than me, and I don't deserve any more than you. We have got to start believing that about ourselves, that we deserve. We deserve better than what we've had in the past. Next, you have to start believing that you matter and that you make a difference. Everybody makes a difference to somebody, whether it's bad or good. It's all about how you carry yourself, and it's all about your behavior. You can influence somebody in the worst way, or you can influence somebody in a way that says, you know what, I want to be like her. I want to handle myself the way she handled that situation. Understand, somebody's always watching you. Somebody is always peeping at you, trying to see what's going on with you. Why not give them something good to look at? Why not give them something encouraging to look at? Because that's how much you matter. People will not like your post on Facebook, and I get tickled all the time because Facebook has a way of letting you see who looks at your posts and stuff. And I looked at it one time and I just got tickled, because the same people that's peeking in on your stuff, they may not like your stuff or nothing, but they're watching everything that you do. So understand that you matter even to your haters. You matter to them. Something about you makes them want to watch you. So let's give them something good to watch. Let's give them something encouraging to watch. Let them see that what happened in your life, that bad, didn't break you. The bad didn't break you. That's why you got to keep it pushing, because somebody needs to see what it's like to see somebody be a conqueror. We see all the time people defeated. We see all the time people depressed. We see people anxious. Let's let people see what it's like to go through hell and come out on the other side. People need to see that, you guys. That's why you matter. That's why you make a difference, because so many of us have gone through some things that people don't even understand how we made it through. But God did it. And so they need to see that in you. That's why you make a difference. The next thing you need to believe about yourself and about your life is that you are enough all by yourself. For those of you that are married, that's wonderful. That's great. God bless y'all. And I hope y'all just build and grow. But for those of you that are single, You are enough all by yourself. There's a reason God has you single right now. You don't need to feel less than anybody. What you need to do is work on your self-improvement, build on what you have, take care of the things you need to take care of, and make your life the best it can be. And if God allows somebody to come into your life, so be it. But if he doesn't, you're enough all by yourself. The next thing I need y'all to believe about yourself is that you are a gift to everybody you spend time with. You know, it is a blessing to spend time in the presence of other people, because some people have nobody. And we take that for granted when people come to see us or call us or text us. You know, there's somebody out there that wish they had just one person that cared enough about them. So recognize that you are a gift to everybody you spend time with. So carry yourself in that way. Make sure you're reaching out to people, because somebody needs that spirit that you have. Somebody needs that love that you have. You are a gift to everybody you spend time with. And you need to repeat that to yourself, because it'll help uplift you when you're having a hard time. Remind yourself, I am a gift. I am God's gift to other people. I am God's light for other people. Remind yourself of that, because it's hard to stay down when you realize you have a purpose. It's very hard to stay in a defeated position when you realize God is the one that lifts your head. It's very hard to feel down on yourself when you believe that God loves you the way that he does. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And so our final thought, you guys, is we should all be able to recognize when it's time for a new start. And with 2024 into play, why not go ahead and start now? There's signs that we all need to recognize that it's time for a new start. Number one, you feel stuck. You feel unfulfilled in your life and in your current situation. You need a new start. Number two, you're experiencing repeated failures or setbacks. You need a new start. Number three, you feel burned out or overwhelmed. It's time for a new start. Number four, you've experienced a major life change, like a breakup or a loss of a job. That's God's way of saying, I've got a new start for you. He's giving you an opportunity for a new start. Number five, you're not enjoying your family. You need a new start. And number six, things in your life feel chaotic, feel out of control. Ask yourself, is this me? If so, just recognize that it's not too late to do something. You can do something about it. There's hope. You need to get excited about starting fresh. It's okay when things end. We have to learn to allow things to end, because when something ends, that means you get to start something new. So we need to learn to change our mindset about that. And just remember, new keys open new doors. You just have to be willing to do the work. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. And remember to bet on yourself. You're worth it. You're able. So God bless y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Take care. Bye.